Welcome to JB's Academy of Science. In this lesson, we are going to learn about charges on matter, conductors and insulators, charging materials, detection of charge using an electroscope, and properties of charges. Electrostatics Introduction. The history of electrostatics goes to a Greek philosopher Thales of Miletus who lived in 600 BC. Thales noticed that a piece of amber, when rubbed with a piece of silk, gained the property of attracting lighter materials kept close to it. Then, in 300 BC, another Greek philosopher, Theophrastus, noticed that even other materials also exhibit the same phenomenon when rubbed against some other materials. In 1600 AD, a scientist named William Gilbert conducted many experiments to study the property exhibited by amber and other materials, and he coined the term electric, which is derived from the meaning of Greek word amber. Then, an American scientist, Benjamin Franklin, in 18th century, conducted many experiments to study this phenomenon, and he could find out that lightning is an electrical phenomenon. Also, he proved that there are two types of charges, and he named these charges as positive charges and negative charges. Electrostatics Introduction. Electrostatics is the study of charges at rest. Charges can be in motion or at rest. So the branch of physics which deals with the properties of charges at rest is electrostatics. Now, what is charge? Charge is the property of matter that is responsible for producing electrical and magnetic effects. Charges are classified into two types: positive charges and negative charges. Charge is measured using a unit called coulomb, which is represented by the capital letter C. We will define 1 coulomb, the unit of charge, later. Now, charges on matter. To study the reason for charges on matter, let us look into the atomic structure. We know that all materials are made up of molecules and even smaller particles called atoms. Now, what is the structure of the atom? We have studied earlier that an atom is made up of mainly three types of particles we call subatomic particles: protons, neutrons, and electrons. Protons are positively charged particles in the atom. Neutrons are electrically neutral particles in the atom, and electrons are negatively charged particles. Protons and neutrons are situated inside the nucleus of the atom, and electrons are moving around the nucleus in certain fixed paths called orbits. Conductors and insulators. Some materials will allow charges to flow through them, or they allow the passage of electricity through them. Such materials are called conductors. For example, all metals like copper, iron, aluminium, zinc, magnesium, etc. conduct electricity or they allow flow of charges through them. So they are all examples of conductors of electricity. Some materials do not allow passage of electricity through them or flow of charges through them and are called insulators or poor conductors of electricity. For example, wood, rubber, plastic, glass, paper, cloth, etc. are insulators of electricity. Generally, metals are good conductors of electricity and non-metals are insulators of electricity. Good to know. We know that metals are conductors of electricity and non-metals are insulators of electricity, but carbon is a non-metal. Graphite, an allotrope of carbon, is a good conductor of electricity. Charging materials. Charging. The process by which an uncharged or electrically neutral object is made a positively charged or negatively charged object is called charging. We can charge an object by different means. They are charging by friction, charging by conduction, and charging by induction. Now let us see these methods in detail. Charging by friction. The process of charging an object by rubbing it on another object of dissimilar material is called charging by friction. So earlier we studied when amber was rubbed against a piece of cloth, it acquired certain property of attracting lighter materials. So when an object is rubbed against another material, it acquires the property of attracting lighter objects towards it. For example, if a glass rod is rubbed with a piece of silk cloth, the glass rod acquires positive charge and the silk cloth acquires negative charge. Initially, glass rod and silk cloth both were neutral, and when rubbed against each other, glass rod is positively charged and silk cloth is negatively charged. Now let us try to understand how these objects, glass rod and silk cloth, acquired charges when rubbed. We know that both glass rod and silk cloth, they have positive charges and negative charges within them, but electrically they are neutral. When rubbed against each other, some electrons from glass rod are transferred to the silk cloth. Therefore, glass rod has deficiency of electrons now, and silk cloth has excess electrons within it. Therefore, glass rod gained positive charge and silk cloth gained negative charge. Charging by conduction. The process in which an uncharged object made up of a conductor is charged by bringing it in contact with a charged body made up of conductor again is called charging by conduction. Let us consider two objects A and B here. A is a charged body and B is uncharged. When we make a physical contact between A and B, since both are conductors, some charges from A will flow to object B, and hence both A and B will be charged. This method of charging a body is called charging by conduction. Charging by induction. It is the process of charging a body by bringing another charged body near to it without any physical contact between them. So let us consider an uncharged body here, a rectangular uncharged body here. It has equal number of positive and negative charges within it. So electrically it is neutral. Now another charged body, negatively charged body, is brought near to the uncharged body. When negatively charged body is brought near to the uncharged body, the unlike charges in the body, that is positive charges in the body, will get attracted towards the uncharged body and they will get accumulated at one end, and the like charges, that is negative charges, will get accumulated on the other end of the body. Now, if the other end of the body is grounded or is earthed, the negative charge accumulated at other end of the body will be cancelled, will be neutralized. And the body, the uncharged body, will become positively charged. So this method of charging the body is called charging by induction. So through induction, the opposite kind of charge can be produced on an object. Detection of charge using an electroscope. Electroscope is an instrument used to detect the presence of charge on an object. The commonly used and a simple electroscope is a gold leaf electroscope. A gold leaf electroscope consists of a wide glass bottle with a narrow neck, two very thin gold foils are suspended inside the bottle by means of a thick metal rod. The metal rod is fixed to the neck of the bottle by means of a rubber cork, and a thick metal disc or a metallic sphere is connected at the end of the metal rod outside the bottle. This is the construction of the gold leaf electroscope. Now let us see how a gold leaf electroscope can be used to detect electric charges. Initially, when there is no charged object is brought near to the electroscope, the gold leaves inside the bottle will be close to each other. When a charged object is brought near to the metal disc of the electroscope, charges will be induced on the metal disc and hence on the two gold leaves inside the bottle. When like charges are induced on the two leaves, they repel and move apart. This indicates presence of charge on the body which is brought near to the electroscope. Now, properties of charges. So there are four basic properties of charges we are going to discuss in this lesson. They are attractive and repulsive property of charges, additive property of charges, conservation of charges, and quantization of charges. Attractive and repulsive property. Attractive and repulsive property says that unlike charges always attract each other and like charges always repel each other. That is, unlike charges, a negative charge and a positive charge, if brought close to each other, they always attract. Like charges, that is, a negative charge and another negative charge, always repel each other, or a positive charge and another positive charge always repel each other. Additive property of charges. The total charge on a system of charges is equal to the algebraic sum of the positive charges and the negative charges on the system. If we have a system of many charged bodies, then net charge in the system is the algebraic sum of the charges present on all the objects present in the system. For example, if we have 4 objects and Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 are the charges present on the 4 objects, then the net charge in the system Q is equal to Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3 plus Q4. Now, consider 4 charged objects in a system and the charge on these objects are plus 2 coulomb, minus 3 coulomb, plus 6 coulomb and minus 2 coulomb. Then the net charge on the system is Q is equal to plus 2 plus minus 3 plus 6 plus minus 2 coulombs. That is, total charge Q is equal to plus 3 coulombs. So the net charge is the algebraic sum of the individual charges in the system. We have to consider the sign of the charge while taking the algebraic sum. Conservation of charges. Conservation of charges is that the net charge on an isolated system always remains same or a constant. When an object is charged, charges are not created newly. That is, electrons are just transferred from one object to another object. If you consider 2 bodies, a system of 2 objects, and they are rubbed against each other, we know that one object will be positively charged and the other object will be negatively charged. Here, charge is not created on any one of these objects. Consider 2 objects here. The first one has 8 positive charges and 8 negative charges in it. Electrically, the object is neutral. The second object, which is below, has 7 positive charges and 7 negative charges in it. When they are rubbed against each other, suppose they are dissimilar objects, when they are rubbed against each other, some electrons will be transferred from one object to the other object. Here, let us consider some electrons are transferred from the first to the second objects. Now, the total positive charge and total negative charge in the first object is not same because some electrons are transferred to the second object. The same way, number of electrons in the second object is more than the number of positive charges. Therefore, The first object is positively charged and the second object is negatively charged. Again, if you find the net charge, that is charge on the first object plus charge on the second object, net charge is 0. Before charging, net charge is 0. After charging, net charge in the system is 0. So that is conservation of charge. Charge is not created or destroyed. It is just transferred from one object to another. The body that gains electrons is negatively charged and the body that loses electrons is positively charged. Properties of charges, quantization of charge. Quantization of charge is that any amount of charge on a body or a system is the integral multiples of an elementary charge, which is the charge of an electron. So electron, the charge of the electron is the fundamental elementary charge, and any other charge is just a multiple, a whole number multiple of this fundamental elementary charge. So this principle we call quantization of charge. For example, if an object has q charges on it, then q is equal to plus or minus ne, where E is the charge of the electron, N is a whole number. Plus or minus depends on whether it is positive charge or negative charge. The magnitude of the charge of electron is 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulomb. So this quantization says that we cannot express charge as fraction of charge of electrons. For example, Q can be NE, N can be any number, 2, 3, 4, etc. But it cannot be half, 3 by 2, 5 by 2, etc. It cannot be a fraction of electronic charge. That is quantization of charge. Now let us do a problem based on the quantization of charge. A body is positively charged through 1 coulomb. How many electrons are removed from it? Here charge on the body is 1 coulomb. We know that charge of electron is E is equal to 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulomb. And from quantization of charge, we know that Q is equal to plus or minus Ne, where N is the number of electrons, E is the charge of the electron. Therefore, N is equal to Q by E. Here Q is 1 coulomb. Therefore, 1 coulomb divided by charge of the electron, 1 by 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19. That is equal to 6.24 into 10 to the power of 18. So, number of electrons to be removed from the body to charge the body through 1 coulomb is equal to 6.24 into 10 to the power of 18. Thanks for watching this video. In the next coming lessons, we will discuss about Coulomb's law, electric field, Gauss theorem, etc. Thank you.